It's all right. It's all live. Live anyway.
to peg up your little card. We have a last few little bits of input before we can have a drink. It just gets better and better. So if you haven't put up your peg yet, then please do. That's not right. If you haven't pegged up your sheet yet, please do. And then just grab a seat wherever you like. Just got a last few little bits and pieces. Okay, can I have your attention, please? Thank you very much. I'm just going to ask Ian to give a couple of words about what happens with all this fantastic work you've done.
Thanks, Liz. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming and for all the energy and enthusiasm that people have clearly put into the tables and the discussions going on around. There's some fantastic comments going up on the line there, from right down from the "we're not ambitious enough," "there's too much carrot, where's the stick," through to "if Bristol keeps on growing this much, we need an underground," right up to "how are we going to stop people having to travel, reduce the need to travel, can we look at schools policy and where people are travelling, a whole range of things like that." So there's some really good content and some really good stimulating ideas there, and we'll take all of the stuff that's come out of this meeting alongside the public consultations, alongside the consultations with businesses, and we're going to be crunching all of that throughout October, November to come up with a new version of the plan. So hopefully you'll see some of your ideas coming out in the next version. Thank you very much for being so engaged.
Thanks, Ian. Now we're going to hear a couple of words from, more than a couple, don't worry, I'm not keeping you to two. A couple of words from Ben Robinson, who works at the City Council Transport Department, about what their own exciting plans are.
Okay, well, thank you very much for inviting me. This has been a really impressive event, actually. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I sat on 3 different tables and they were all extremely interesting discussions. So my name is Ben Robinson. I work in the transport policy team at the City Council. That's not to say we've got a whole team of people who do transport policy. It's basically me, and everybody else does other things like data and scheme development and so on. So I suppose the first point to make is that me and my colleagues do very much welcome the Good Transport Plan. The draft is a pretty decent bit of work. And it's really helping to enliven the dialogue and the debate in the city, the dialogue the city's having with itself about what we want to see happen in terms of transport. So it's definitely welcome. And even from the discussions today, you can see how it's engaging a broad range of people, which is actually often very difficult to do with transport. So I suppose the second point is, one of the things that the Good Transport Plan does is it outlines all the stuff that's already going on, and Bristol is actually in the midst of a £500 million investment in its infrastructure, which is probably unprecedented. Maybe the M32 or the Great Western Main Line and the harbour, if they'd all been done together, would have been bigger. And that's a whole range of things. Residence parking schemes. We're one of the last cities in the country to put in residence parking schemes. 20 mile an hour, we're one of the first to do citywide 20 mile an hour. I'm sure once that's bedded in, people will be a bit more acceptant of it. There's loads of other stuff going on around Temple Quarter Enterprise Zone, £11 million to transform the pretty awful area outside Temple Mead Station. Lots and lots of cycling and walking infrastructure. Of course, you all know how we are actually very good at cycling and walking in Bristol, as many people cycle and walk here as do in most of the other major cities combined, through Cycle Ambition Fund and so on. And then, of course, there's the really big ticket items like Metro West, which is actually reopening 2 entire railway lines, which is it's not a small deal. That's quite a big deal, as well as improving suburban routes. And Metro Bus, and obviously people do have quite strong opinions about Metro Bus, but I'm pretty sure, like they found in Cambridge and Luton and lots of other places where they built BRT, within 3 to 5 years people are wondering how they did without it. So the third point was, I was going through the draft, it's excellent to see that the Good Transport Plan recognises that there's no silver bullet and that you can't rely on the council or First or someone to just suddenly come along and fix all these problems. We've all got a role to play, be that in our communities or in our workplaces. And that's really good to see that. And of course we do have to deal within the constrained network that Bristol has, as well as the increasingly constrained finances that we're dealing with, especially with regards to revenue. So yes, there's capital investment, but actually the revenue that all local authorities get is seriously going down quite quickly. Sorry, got a bit negative there. So just to finish off though, we are taking the Good Transport Plan very seriously internally, and it will be used to inform and influence many of the things that will be kick-starting next year, probably a review of the Joint Local Transport Plan, and certainly the Joint Spatial Strategy, which will look where the housing goes. One last point, I'm going to abuse my position here, and just to say, please do visit the Go Ultra Low West stall. We need your help to win 11 million quid to encourage low-emission vehicles, especially if you've got a fleet and you're an employer. We need a pledge from you just to say we support this bid. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Ben. It's great to see how the sort of work that we're doing is really starting to influence and to support and to challenge and all of those things that the partnership's always been about. I'd like now to ask Andrew Garrett, who's the chair of Bristol 2015 company, who wonderfully funded this project, to say a couple of words.
Actually, I didn't fund it myself. I think we all know that if you stop anybody in the street in Bristol and say, what's our biggest problem, they will say traffic or transport. And if they think a little bit longer, they'll also say air quality and health. So it was obvious that one of our themes would be transport. And I think this project here is one of our most ambitious projects. So for me, I'm getting to the stage now of the year where things that started at the beginning of the year or were granted at the beginning of the year are now starting to bear fruit and results. So I'm going to try in the next quarter to spend quite a lot of time going to visit not perhaps all of the 189 projects, but a good chunk of those projects to see what actually has happened. And I must say, I've really enjoyed this afternoon, and I think what's going on here is clearly very worthwhile. And I think there are a lot of other things, in fact, an amazing number of things going on now as a result of the 2015 status, but also things that I've learned a huge amount about Bristol this year of just what's going on anyway. And I think what we've got here is those two things coming together. So we're now in quite an exciting part, I think, of the year. And of course the year goes on, and we should think of this year as being a point along a trajectory, perhaps, but certainly it's not finishing at the end of 2015. It's just beginning. And one of the other things that's beginning is a new phase of the Green Capital Partnership. And I think you probably also know we funded the Green Capital Partnership itself to quite a decent extent in order for it to make a transition during the year, to be a force to be reckoned with, to be an organisation which could receive money itself, could receive contracts itself, could also be influential within the city in a perhaps a more formal way than it previously had been. And so I think what I've seen, the three organisations, we had this famous slide which I think I've shown you in various different presentations before, of the Bristol 2015 temporary company on either side, the City Council and the Green Capital Partnership. And I think that idea was certainly what we had at the very beginning of the year. And now there are lots of things going on, which I'm sure you're all very much aware of, which is taking us towards that goal. So this sort of thing, which we've seen today, coming out of the Green Capital Partnership involvement together with Sustrans and others, I think is a really, really healthy thing and is a very exciting part of 2015. So I hope you're all enjoying 2015. I'm enjoying 2015. I have got my eye on December the 31st, but I think it's going to be an exciting time beyond 2015 as well. And what we're doing here is all about the future. The new organisation is about the future, and I think the future looks pretty exciting. And this project is attacking, I think, the biggest problem that we have as a city. So thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Andrew. Don't worry, I won't keep you too long. I just wanted to thank everybody for their input today. I started off the day talking a little bit about how we're trying to draw these elements together, the big thorny problems, how we get more strategic, how we get more collaborative at that very strategic level, and also how we support the city to play its part. And I think that even the last inputs we've had in the last few minutes remind us about exactly that actually it's about all of us coming together and making these things happen at a city scale in what I believe to be a really, really exciting way. And I think this project is a really, really prime example of both of how inspiring this city is in terms of the amount that's going on, but also about how the partnership can support organisations large and small to come together to do that. I had planned to more or less just say that and thank you all. I've got a nice long list of thank yous, but I've been given in the last 2 hours about 325 things to mention. So I'm going to go through them extremely quickly, so have your ears and eyes open because it's quite an exciting lot. One very quick thing is that I'm not sure where she is, but there's somebody here from Bristol Mediation. That's another lady here. That's another project that's been funded by the City Council, which is about conflict resolution for road users, which I think is fascinating. So really looking at this issue around how do we, as different stakeholders in the transport system, have better conversations? How do we use some of those skills to have better conversations to get better outcomes in the longer term? So it's very much wants to build on the work of the sort of thing that the Good Transport Plan is doing. There's a real call out at the moment to join that project. There's a sort of sign-up sheet if you would be prepared to be part of that as any type of road user that you are, to be part of some of those conversations that I believe are starting in November but are continuing through next year. So please do go and have a look at that if you can. We have some very exciting things coming up which again are good examples of how the partnership is beginning to move into this space of much more joining up the sort of ecosystem of the city. One of them is a much stronger partnership with what was formerly known as Bristol Green Week and is soon to be relaunched as Love the Future. There are a number of people here who've been very involved in that, and we're working much more closely with them already, and certainly will be in the long term, for them to be the real event and communications partners for the partnership. So watch this space for the launch. I think we can quite tell you about it now, but it won't be long, and we will let you know very soon. Equally, watch this space. We're on the brink of launching a fantastic project with Crowdfunder UK around a city-scale potential for bringing a lot more funding than we've seen so far for the sorts of projects we've been talking about today at every scale in the city. So again, it's just a teaser, but it's on its way, so please keep in the loop. Healthy City Week is coming up. The major project that's coming out of the partnership, working with the Health and Wellbeing Action Group that was formed last year, sponsored by the Bristol Health Partners, and it's creating a whole amazing week. How many events have we got? No, nearly 100 apparently. Over 100 events in the week of the 10th to the 18th of October, looking at the connection between health and sustainability and how we individually, collectively, communities, policymakers, all of those sort of things can promote the idea that well-being doesn't need to cost the earth. So do get involved with that week. It's an incredible calendar of events. It's going up at the end of the week. I was about to say it's already up, but it isn't, at the end of the week. Sorry about all of these. There's also, I've been handed this, Cycle Sunday on September the 20th, Life Cycle UK organising a big event, car-free cycling on the Downs, 10 till 12, etc, etc. Please grab one of those on your way out. I'm getting there. Love the Future of Fashion event at Colston Hall, ethical eco-fashion event including music and comedy. It's part of the TEDx series, but it's also in partnership with Love the Future and Bristol Green Capital Partnership. They always sell out, so if you are interested in that, it's going to be an amazing event at Colston Hall on the 11th of November, so do book in and enjoy the party. I think it sounds like an amazing event. And last but definitely not least, the Festival of Future Cities, which is a big event that's coming towards the end of the Green Capital year. We've been working with partners across the universities and the Cabot Institute to be presenting a report on Bristol's future beyond what we already know to what it really means to be a future sustainable city and what capacities Bristol needs for the future. It's a really exciting piece of work we've been doing throughout the year. There's a blog already giving a a preview of that on our website, but that's going to be one of the things that's presented at the Festival of Future Cities in November, so keep an eye out for that. I think I might have covered all of them, she says, looking at the most important person in the room, Vicky, who knows everything that's everything, which just leaves me to my thank yous. Firstly, I'd really like to thank all the members of the Bristol Green Capital Transport Project Group. It really has been incredible what's come out of that group. We've seen the fruits of it today, but it wouldn't have happened unless you'd stepped up to the mark when we opened the doors a year and a half or so ago to the partnership and said, come and tell us what you think and get involved. And it really has gone from strength to strength, so thank you very much for all of your inputs to that. Thank you everybody today for the inputs that you've given. Really has made a massive difference. Thank you also to Bristol 2015 and the City Council for the strategic grant that made all of this possible. Thank you also to the Trinity Centre, who we've used this venue a couple of times now. They're fantastically helpful and supportive. They themselves are an amazingly inspiring community enterprise. If you don't know about them, please do find out more about them. And also after this evening, they're offering a tour in the garden, because they also have a 2015 funded project called Grow It, Cook It and Eat It. I think that's the name of it. And they're happy to give anyone who's interested a tour of that project and more. I'd like to thank Sustrans particularly for all of the work they've put in, both to the project and to today, and our colleagues at Love the Future, who've also been really, really helping support this project. I would, last but not least, like to thank the Bristol Green Capital team, Vicky and Gary. Everyone thinks the partnership's got lots of money and lots of resources because we managed to put things like this on, but actually we're a really tiny organisation. There are only 2 members of staff. They're not both even full-time, so it's incredible what they managed to do right across the partnership. So thank you to Vicky and to Gary for exceptional work that's been going on in the last few months. Thank you also to all of the people I haven't thanked, who I should have thanked, and I apologise already in advance for that. So absolutely last but not least, I think we mentioned that after this we have the launch of Our Green City, which is a really exciting project from the University of West of England. So I'm going to invite Simon, who is the project manager, just to tell you enough about that we can immediately go into the launch and have a large glass of something to celebrate.
Thank you. Sorry. It's a really, really big project. We've been putting it together for about a year. We did want to just have, not just really a launch, because it actually went live last week, but just to say thank you to the partnership for all the support that they've given us in just opening doors and bringing us in and bringing other people to us. We've called it Our Green City, Global Challenges, Bristol Solutions. The background being that it's a lot of some of our academics talking about the themes of Bristol 2015 in a sort of global sense, but then going out and using Bristol and Bristol grassroots organisations, big and small, as case studies to illustrate to the world. And I really mean the world, of how we're sort of taking being European Green Capital. We've got nearly 1,300 people signed up for it already, which is a huge achievement, and we can already see in the first week we've sort of had something, I mean stats in numbers, it's about 1,500's worth of video presentations alone watched, of which something like a third of those are being watched in America, and Spain are really, really picked up on it, and Brazil for some reason as well. It seems really popular. So, as I said, please just join us for a quick glass of drink. I'm also the chair of the Trinity Centre here as well, so please go and have a look at our 2015 project, because it really, really is inspiring about urban agriculture too. And one of our key themes is transport, where we are talking about some of the stuff that you've been talking about today. So, as I said, promote and talk to other people about it. Thank you.
That's it. Thanks, everybody. Please do stay around, talk to each other. You're an amazing lot, so please get to know as many people in the room as you can. Have a glass of wine, and we will see you in a few months. Thank you. in the garden talk, and they meet here in about 5 minutes' time to have a fantastic talk with Helen.
To make sure we get there in the first place.
See how it goes. She is the main person now.